Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we are going to be taking on the task of installing a water softener. What I noticed recently is when I shower in this house is when the water dries up, it leaves very heavy calcium and lime deposits that were very evident. And another indication for me that the water was too hard was recently I've been breaking out pretty bad. I haven't changed my diet, I haven't changed any of my habits recently. That kind of cued me in that maybe I should install a water softener. I decided to record it just so that I can have a reference for myself later on and also see if I screwed anything up. Before we do that though, first thing we want to do is verify that I do have hard water. So the first thing we need to do is test the water. So I bought this from Lowe's, and what it came with was some testing strips, water testing strips that helps you test one, the hardness level of the water, and then two, the pH level. Let's go ahead and start the testing. So here's the little test setup that they sent that came with the unit. It gave me a hardness strip and a pH strip and then a comparison chart. But let's do the hardness test first. So we'll get our sample right here. So let's dip it in for 2 seconds. Let's see what it changes to. I don't know, it's somewhere in between these two. Regardless, it's in the hard category. Kind of verifying that it's more than I want. Okay, let's do the pH now. All right, we'll give it a 60 seconds. I don't know, maybe that's what's making me break out is this pH level. So friggin' acidic. I don't even know if we need to wait 60 seconds. I'm already seeing it's pushing the high end of the chart. I think that's another big indicator. So not only do we have hard water, my pH levels are off. I think we're justified to say I think I need a water softener. Let's go take a look at the unit. So one thing we didn't get to cover very closely was the unit itself. So it's a water softener from A.O. Smith. It has audible salt alerts. The model itself, if you look here, is AOWH Soft 400T. And like I said, it says 3 to 4 persons household is what it can cover. I took the liberty and I moved the unit itself into my utility room already. The utility room is where the water heater and my air ventilator / furnace is located. The plan is I'm gonna install this water softener right next to the water heater because that's where it's gonna have to plug into the actual inlet piping of the water. So yeah, let's take a look at this unit first. Here's the bypass valve. So this is where the piping is gonna come in through, and this is where it'll come out. And in this process, it'll go through the unit and then come back out. And then this bypass also serves if there's a malfunction with the unit, it'll skip it and then go straight back out. This line right there, that is the line that's running from the main water line outside. So that's the inlet, that's where it goes in through. It's gonna go up to that junction and it splits. This is gonna run in the inlet to the water heater. And then there's the outlet. This split up here is to the rest of the house for untemperatured water, the cold water flow. So the thing we need to figure out is where we're gonna connect into. I am thinking that I can connect it. Looking at this, I think I'm going to connect it on this part. I'm going to make this line that's coming out of here from the main water line, I'm gonna connect that to the inlet here, and then the outlet I'm going to connect going back into this check valve. So maybe at this elbow I'll connect it back. The one complaint I have with this unit when I bought it from Lowe's, it didn't come with any hardware. It came with the top. That's it. It didn't come with anything else. So I bought all the materials I think will cover to be able to route this unit into the water heater. So here, let's take accountability now of the stuff I had to buy. All right, so this is everything that I had to purchase alongside with the unit. This is where I got a little frustrated while I was running up and down the aisles of Lowe's. Spent money on that thing and then the extra money I had to buy for this. So the kind of pipe that it's been built with, it's PEX A. You actually don't need plumber's glue or plumber's tape. You use an expander, which is over there, which I'll cover, and you use a cap. And then you expand it, and the fittings are gonna be a size bigger so that it's a snug fit. It kind of just form fits itself from just the size expansion, and then it'll shrink fit into that. Another thing is a crimper. You can crimp the ends of it on a junction, on any elbows that you have. Then I got the valve itself. I'm gonna replace that valve that's on the wall because I was looking at it. These are quick connect kind of valves that once you put the PEX-A piping into it, you can't really take it out. I got the fittings. These are gonna go on the cap end of these pipes, and this is where the expander, it's gonna expand both the pipe and that fitting for any of the inserts that are going to go into there. Then I got some wall mounts for this 3/4 kind of pipe. I got another return line. The unit calls for 2 return lines and only gave me 1. This was the most expensive part, along with the unit, is the expander. You put this in the end and it forces it a little wider. These are the lines that are going to go into the water softener. This is the right size. It actually has a quick connect on the ends for the PEX-A pipe. And then we have the elbow there. First step, like any plumbing, like electricity as well, is you want to shut off the source. So we got to shut off the main water source. So yeah, mine is actually located right here. It's in a well. So I hit the stop there. So there you go, water's cut off from the main. All right, now time to verify that we did cut off the water. So here we're just draining the pressure in the line, making sure we get everything out so it doesn't spray me in the face. So there's the hot water. There's the cold water. Oh, and another thing I like to do, just because it's not gonna have water in it, is I actually like to shut off the water heater, because otherwise it's should still be a little residue water in there, but otherwise it's cooking away at an empty barrel. All right, so here you just go ahead and turn it off. The light will go red, showing that the pilot went out. And we could verify in the window as well. Shouldn't see any light. And just because I don't like the gas running without a pilot, I'm gonna shut the gas off as well. So there's the gas line to the water heater. All right, that's shut off. Essentially, there should be no pressure now in those lines. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and get to work. This is the bottom view of that line coming in from the outside. Here's the valve that shut off the water. And here's the inlet. Here's the elbow that we're talking about. This is the junction I'm looking at to take it disconnected. I'm gonna cut it here to replace this guy, because I can't take this, I can't salvage this tube. Once it's a one-time quick connect, you can't pull it out because there's clips that go one way that'll catch this tube and won't let it come back out. My plan is to cut here, turn it around, point it towards the wall, and connect the flow from the unit into this elbow going up. I got a little pan. I was hoping to use a bucket, but nothing will fit in this little area. I got a pan here. I'm gonna hope to catch this water. So I got my tubing cutter. We're gonna try to do a straight cut. What I was talking about, here's the water. There's going to be a lot of hesitation cutting into a line like that, into the pipe, not knowing if you're going to create a non-stop leak. Let's try to twist this so that I can get the last bit. So my thought is I'm going to build a routing. So this wall is going to be my anchor that's going to run down to the unit. I'm going to put that piping, I got those anchor points, I got the 90-degree bend, and I'm going to run it along the wall to make it nice and tidy so it's just not free floating in the air. So I'm going to put it right here anchored and route it towards the line. Same thing with coming from the wall. I'm going to try to create a bend in it. I might have to go under, see how this works, because this one's kind of in the way. So I might have to do a 90 prior to it. We'll see how this works. All right, well, let's go ahead and do my controlled bleeding of the system here. I don't know how this is gonna, I really don't know how this is gonna go. I knew it was gonna geyser a little bit. I got a little bit in the face. On my tippy toes trying to reach this, but let me see here. I need to cut this straight and give myself as much real estate as I can on this pipe because there's not much that's sticking out from the wall. Okay, catch the rest of that water. All right, sucks because there's not much tube left coming out of the wall, but we're gonna cut our PEX-A tube to size for some of these connections I'm gonna be doing here. We're gonna make it as straight a cut as possible. We have the fittings we're gonna put at the end. These are this helps the PEX-A shrink back to size after using the expander, so it fits onto the elbows. So we're putting the ends here. So now we have these ends on each side. Now we're going to use the expander on one side of them, and we got to connect it quick because after we expand it, we got to put it on the fitting. It'll shrink back to size. All right, so I'm going to try to show you this at the same time here. So we're going to use the expander. We're going to go all the way down to the base. There you go. And now, like I said, quickly, you'll fit this onto the elbow and you're going to hold it there. And that should hold it perfect. So now we have the main water line. We have an elbow and it's running down now so that I can connect another elbow and go under this line right here. That goes to the rest of the house. We're gonna do the same thing we did here on the bottom part. And then we're gonna put the elbow here till it stops, and then we're gonna hold it. It looks like it's holding. Still got the dribble, even though the main water line's cut. Okay, now to put the main valve onto this one. And I cut this a little short, but I'm hoping this works. If not, I might be shit out of luck. Just because this is a quick fit. This is a quick fit so that I'm not going to be able to back this out, so I hope that's enough space. So let's try to connect this to the main line now. Alright, let's get it there, hold it. Alright, let's take a look at the work we've done so far. I cleaned up shop a little bit. I organized a little bit more. I had shit everywhere. Now the tricky part. So you can see the water softener. It comes in at a 90-degree angle here. The new pipes that I just bought, the new fittings that I bought for this, is pretty fortified. So it doesn't really bend very well. So if I were to put this side against the wall, I don't know if this is gonna work with this on there. So first thing we're gonna do is connect it. Just watch out for cutting yourself. I just cut myself. Alright, this one's connected. Now the problem is how am I going to reposition these to be able to see, like, this is as much as they bend. I don't want to put any kinks in them. The unit's not very well positioned. It's a small space. Alright, I've decided what I'm gonna do. As you guys can see, I kind of sketched out a little thing right there. I'm gonna cut that out, make a little port for these connectors since it's 9 degrees in the way. But if I could do this, at the very least I could get the tube to meet it at a junction around here. Cut out a little port so that these can hang out in there. So there you go. I actually had to cut it a little bit more in the vertical. So I actually just put a little piece of PEX-A on there. Just wanted to test out the spacing. So I'm actually going to put a bend here, and then I'm going to bring it out here and bend it back up so that this can connect to it from down here. I'm going to put a 90-degree bend on it somewhere around here. so I can connect. And then I'm going to do the same for the return to go back into that little guy right there. And I'm hoping that'll be it. Then I have to figure out the operation of this guy, and then I'm going to clean. I'm going to bring these now out and put the 2 elbows going up. I got to space this just right so it just pops out here. All right, now I installed the 2 90 elbows there. So now it's secured. I got this 90, and now I can actually start wiring. I can connect the lines to this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use its flexibility to my advantage. I'm going to bend it and fit it onto here. All right, success. I got one connected. Strapped it to the wall here, but I was able to connect it to this line. Everything, it has a complete connection from the water outside, the water line outside, to the water softener. So now the water is effectively going into here. So now the return line, I got to do the same thing. I got to wire the return to go to that that connector right there. I got it all wired. I got it routed the way I need to. Now I have to figure out the operation of this guy. Okay, so the next thing it wants me to do is connect a drain line to the drain elbow here. This is in case the system malfunctions or it overflows the unit, so that any excess water will overflow from here. And it wants me to route a drain tube from there to my drain right down there. So I got this tube here, the vinyl one that I spoke about. This is the one that was not supplied. I'm going to use this, route it to there, and then I'm going to safety tie it against those. That's the overflow from the water heater. I'll safety tie it to the side of it for support. I just connected the drain line. You can see the clear vinyl tubing, and I routed it down this way, safety tied it there. And I safety tied these two because these were kind of free floating. Safety tied it there to the drain. Also got to install a drain line. So it says this port right here, I need to install this fitting right here. It needs me to put plumber's tape on here, secure it onto here, and then a drain tube will be routed from there to the drain as well. And that's part of the treatment cycle, is to actually use that one. This one's an emergency. This one is part of the operation. The next part was to install the drain tube with this fitting, which I did, routed it, and put it on the drain. It said a requirement of 2 inches from the ground so it doesn't back siphon. So the next step, what it's saying to do is clean out, rinse out, flush out the system. So first thing is you got to make sure it's in bypass mode. This selector moves, so we're gonna go to bypass. Then it wants me to turn on the main water line and turn on a faucet in the house and flush out the system for a little bit, making sure any debris gets washed out. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna turn on all the connectors here. Before I turn that, I'm gonna just turn on the main water line, make sure there's no leaks at the junction there at the hub, and then I'll turn these two on and just make sure there's no other leaks. And then I'll go turn on a faucet. Finally get to turn the water back on and get to see if there's any leaks. Alright, let's go take a look at the results of my handiwork. Well, I don't hear anything abnormal. I don't see anything abnormal. It looks pretty good from here. So let's go ahead and turn this on. Alright, so from the main water line, it sounds like it's going pretty good. It looks like everything is pretty good. I don't see any leaks anywhere. Alright, it looks like the water is running. Of course, it's all cold. Now that it's been flushed, now we got to put it in service. Put it back over here. And then we got to start filling this thing with water. Alright, the next piece left is now we got to plug in the power source to the back of this controller. It should be right here. So I'm going to plug this in. There you go. And then plug this into the wall. Now it's starting to make noise. Low salt alert. The next step is to program this bad boy based on the hardness. So we go to menu. Hardness. I think this number correlates to the bottom number. 14, 21, 28 being the highest. So I would say we probably fall. 25 sounds about right. We might be somewhere like in between here. I might just leave it at 25. Alright, I didn't capture it. I kind of jumped the gun. But I put regen, and it said ready to start regen. First upflow backwash. For the model of this, it's the 400 South 400T. The barrel, we're going to fill it to 5 gallons. What I had to manually do is I had to add 5 gallons of water to the cabinet manually first. It has to go through a test run. I had to restart it because it wasn't really doing what it was supposed to. Because I don't think I added the water. So I added 5 gallons of water to the cabinet. I restarted the regeneration process with brine, slow rinse. I could hear it start to fill in. The tank is what's filling with water. It still wanted me to fill this with 5 gallons though. It says after this initial process, the cabinet will fill up with the appropriate water level itself. So this is gonna finish, and then the next step after that is to add the salt. Okay, so here's the thing. When I first was getting this all set up, I didn't know how much salt I was gonna need, so I only got 1 bag. It wants me to fill it up to the 3/4 level to fill up with salt. I think I'm gonna have to accept what I got, and it finished. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna accept what I got and just put the bag in, and then tomorrow I'll grab some more salt to fill it up. But let's put this in at the very least. Okay, I just added that bag, and they actually got up to the 1/4 level. So I think 2 more bags, I'll be able to fill it. I think that's all I can do right now for the amount. So I think the next step now is to turn on the water supply to the water heater, turn the heater on, and then I think I gotta run this for 20 minutes. So let's get this back on. So first is we're gonna turn the gas on. That's gonna go to the pilot. All right, and then we're gonna put this on pilot. And then we're gonna turn this on and turn on the igniter. And I'm gonna hold. I hear it. All right, looks like yeah, we got ignition. All right, I'm gonna hold it, and then we're gonna turn it on. There it is. It's self-sufficient. Now we're gonna go. Boom. All right, water heater's on. Let's give it water. Now we have water running to the heater. All right, I'm gonna let the heater do its thing for a second. All right, I got the cold water running for 20 minutes. Yeah, one of the things it's set to check while it's running is that you can see the flow is going. So yeah, it looks like it's going down, the gallons remaining, and it looks like the little water drops show that there's flow going with that faucet open. So I think that's a good sign. 20 minutes are up. So the manual says that's pretty much it. It looks like the flow did stop. So, and then I put the lid on already. Alright guys, so today, this is the next day. I went and bought more salt bags to fill it up completely to the 3/4 line. I bought 4 salt bags. I'm in Missouri, so one of the big things, I did say it was calcium and lime deposits on the shower. More than likely what it actually is iron. Missouri is high in iron in the water levels, in the water content, so that's more than likely what I'm seeing here. So I've been using, I got Iron Fighter salt pellets, which helps reduce the iron levels in the water. Alright, well I just filled it up to the 3/4 line. It actually took all 4 bags to get it to that level. So I think the last thing to do now is to put the salt level to 3/4. Sweet. And we got enough gallons, and I think that's it. I think that's all she wrote. I cleaned the shower once I installed the water softener. If you look at the shower head, that's 2 to 3 days after a day of showering. It was all covered in white stuff. So to me, it looks like that water softener made an impact. We're gonna do an official post-installment test of the water. We're gonna check the hardness and the pH level one more time and see how it falls on the chart now. So we're gonna dip the hardness in for 2 seconds and then match it. And see where that falls. So then we're gonna do the pH level next. The level it should be at. So water is supposed to be, natural water is supposed to be at 7 pH level. If it's too low, then it's, I forget which side goes which way. If it's too low, if it's too much alkaline, if it's too high, it's too much acid. But it should be at 7. It looks like it's falling between the 7.2 and 7.6. So it's closer to 7 than what it was, which was 8 point something. So again, I don't know if it's a cause of the strip being wet. Same with the hardness level, but it's a lot more in the manageable side than what it was before. I'm satisfied with this installment. Well, I would say that was a pretty successful installation. I'm actually pretty satisfied with the outcome of how it turned out, with the installation, the setup that I got back there. No leaks, that's the big thing. I was worried that there might be a small leak somewhere, but no, it all turned out pretty well. And then the operation itself, I'm pretty satisfied with. Even though the softness is not all the way down, it actually feels a lot better than what it did when I first started out. Off camera, what I did is I actually turned up the hardness setting level on the water heater based off of what our results are on the pH testing and the hardness level. The first initial one you saw I put in was 25. I actually turned it up a little bit. Hopefully that'll bump it down even more to the softer level of the water. That actually took a lot longer than what you guys actually saw. It looked like it was probably a 25-minute video to you guys. It actually took about from 6 p.m. That night, starting that project, to 2 in the morning. So it was about a 2-day project. No stops in between because I didn't have water, so I had to finish the project. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching and walking through that process with me. And hopefully I'll see you guys on the next do-it-yourself project. We'll see which one that is. I think it's going to be a big project. I think my next one here is going to be installing the fence in the backyard. So until then, I'll see you guys next time.